Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good day, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to Danette's Kitchen. I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time today to talk more about health and nutrition and to explain why the things that I talk about here and that I show here as far as the gardening and the shopping and the meal preparation, why it is so health focused. It's health focused for a reason. Because 3 years ago, I kind of felt like I had been run over by a Mack truck. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I had no energy. I was always exhausted, like really. And there were people that could look at me and see that and recognize it. You know how when people come up to you and they say, "Hey, how are you doing?" They weren't saying that to me. They were coming up to me saying, "Hey, how are you?" And I said, why are you saying it like that? And I kept wondering, why are people addressing me in that way? Is there something about me that looks wrong or whatever? Went to my doctor for an annual physical. My blood pressure was through the roof. It was like 240 over 180 or something like that, which is outrageously high. And before I go any further, let me just say that everything that I'm saying in this video is from my own personal experience and my own opinion. I am not a medical doctor, and this information should not be considered medical advice. If you want to get medical advice, go see your doctor. But when you go see your doctor, you can ask them about things that I'm telling you about, and they can either confirm or deny the validity of the things that I'm sharing here in this video. But I'm sharing it because I care not only about myself, but about the health of others. So my blood pressure was through the roof, so they put me on a pill. It does nothing. It's like drinking water. Okay, we're going to add another pill. It still doesn't do anything, and I'm starting to have problems with my teeth. I go to the dentist. They take my blood pressure. Whoa, we can't do anything with you because your blood pressure is through the roof. We refuse to do anything until you get that taken care of. It's funny how your teeth can tell what's going on in the rest of your body. Your whole body functions and works together. That's why it's important what we put into our body. You know, what we put into our body is going to impact how we live and what we do every day. So I was like, but I've got a bad tooth. You know, can't you just give me a filling? No, because if we give you a shot of Novocaine, your blood pressure is going to go even higher, and they're going to be taking you to the emergency room. Can't do anything. So I was like, oh man. And then my primary doctor sent me to a specialist, to a cardiologist. And in my mind, dollar signs are going ching, 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 because I know that the price is going to go up because here I'm not only seeing my regular doctor, I'm seeing a cardiologist who then prescribes a whole slew of other meds for me and does a lot of tests and different things. Well, I started to do some research looking through the Mayo Clinic and on other online health areas, you know, U of M Health and different university medical school studies to try to figure out what's totally going on with me and what can I do to be proactive to change things. Well, I have a list based off of those things that I have tried, and it's why I'm here. It's why part of the reason why I do Danette's Kitchen. Number one, prepare more of your foods. It's great to eat out. It's great to order in or to get takeout. But fresh is best. If you can have fresh food, if you can have something that you are preparing at home fresh, that is really truly best. And I know not a lot of people know how to cook a lot of different things. That's why I ask you to put in the comment section if there's something that you would like for me to show you how to make, because you can do it a lot cheaper. You're saving money. You're eating healthier, fresher foods, and your body will thank you. Here I am 3 years later, and yes, my body does thank me. So, here are some key things that can improve your heart health, cholesterol, all that. Number one, exercise. Exercise doesn't sound fun, but it's a necessity. And it doesn't mean you need to go out and buy the biggest weight equipment or whatever. You can if you want to, but get your body moving. Walk every day. And if you already walk a little bit more. Like 20 to 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week will substantially improve your health and your well-being. You'll start feeling better. You'll start to have more energy. Your oxygen rate will increase. Your heart is going to get pumping more and not in that stressed, oh, I'm so clogged with grease and grime and can't hardly move, but it'll be a better situation for you overall. Number two, increase your soluble fiber. Now, what's soluble fiber? Oat bran, like oat bran cereal, that kind of stuff. Nuts, which you can get dried nuts in those cute little packages, 2 for $1, 3 for $1, or you can get the larger containers if you go somewhere like Aldi or Target or Cub Foods or Costco or whatever. Increasing your nut intake, because that's protein right there. Seeds. Sunflower seeds or seeds. Beans. Increasing eating your beans. And I know some people say their doctor told them that they can't eat any beans, any vegetables. But eating the beans and the vegetables are really, really good and healthy for you. Lentils. This bag of lentils costs $1. And it will make many meals. And it doesn't mean just turning it on the stove and putting the whole bag in there and boiling it and sitting back eating it like, I really hate this food. No, there are different recipes that we can do with these lentils. There are some Mediterranean recipes that I really prefer and enjoy making with the lentils. And when I learned how to do that, I started to see my health improving. Because that soluble fiber, when you eat these things, it turns kind of like a gel. Kind of a watery gel, which makes it flow through your system a lot easier, so you're not stuck with all this stuff in you that's clogging your arteries. Some fruits and vegetables also have soluble fibers, but I'm not going to go over that list today. We'll do that at another time. Next, increasing your omega-3 fatty acids. That's like what you find in fish or those long fish oil pills, cod liver oil, which you don't have to take by the spoonful. You can actually get it in a gel tab now so that you're not burping up the taste of fish all day long. So in fish or in supplements, you can get those omega-3 fatty acids, which are healthy for you. That's the good stuff. Some things to watch out for is that there are different types of fish, which I'll do a separate video on that. There are different types of fish that we should eat less of, because less of per month, let's say, because of the amount of mercury that's in the water, in the oceans and everything. It impacts different fish, and especially different fish of different sizes. So, but I'll do a separate video on that. But I mean, you can have fresh fish. You can have like the canned salmon. Looking at this can of salmon, there is zero trans fat, 0 grams. And we're going to talk about trans fat next. So you'll get it in a minute. But the thing about canned fish, have to be careful with the cholesterol because like this has 18% of cholesterol and 11% of your daily value of sodium. And even though it's only 18% of the daily value of cholesterol, I tried to keep my cholesterol to a minimum because those initial test results that I got when I went to the cardiologist were showing that my cholesterol was bad. The good cholesterol was good, but the bad cholesterol was really bad, which meant my overall cholesterol was really bad because you got the HDL and the LDL, and the LDL is the bad one. So I had to watch how much cholesterol I'm taking in. There was a time when I could take this can of fish and make a salmon loaf or a bunch of salmon croquettes, and I would just sit and eat them all at once, or at least all of them in the same day. But I don't do that now. Portion control is very important. You don't want to go overboard with eating anything. I don't care how much you like it. And again, because of the sodium, the amount of sodium and cholesterol that's in this, and then you have to factor in the fact that the other ingredients you're adding to this to create those dishes. So if I prepare something like this and make salmon croquettes or something, first of all, you clean that lid, you cut it open, you pour out all the liquid that's in there because they always add extra sodium to help in the preserving process to make this last longer. But we don't need to have that much salt in our system every day. But anyway, moving on. Next, trans fats. Trans fats are the fats that you can find in processed foods like margarine, and we know there are products that are out there that say they're fantastic for you, that are maybe a margarine or something similar to that. Um, but when things are heavily processed, if you read the label, which in America they're all required to have that label saying what's going on inside that packaging, you'll see that it's higher in trans fats. So what I tend to do is instead of going for the margarine, which you want to have the margarine, help yourself, but try to decrease the amount that you would have of that. Um, I just prefer to use the butter in moderation. you know. And I understand that we have those processed foods that are considered diet foods, but sometimes those things that say that they're diet foods have other negative things about them. So you have to check all that out and make your own judgment based on your needs and talk to your doctor about that. But processed foods like cookies, cakes, crackers, things like that that come from the store, all those wonderful goodies that they put right at eye level for the adults. They put the salty and sweet ones at eye level for the adults, especially in the checkout lines. And they put them at eye level for the kids, especially the cereals. All the ones with the sugary, sweet, whatever, colorful stuff. That may taste delicious, but they're less nutritious. Those things are intentionally put at eye level for kids to be able to see it and say, hey, Mom, I want this. Mom, Grandma, I want this, I want this, I want this. You can still have the good flavor in your food. You can make your own cookies. You can make your own cakes from scratch. I can show you how to do that. You can, make your own crackers or eat crackers that are less processed, that don't have so much stuff in them. Next, LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol. You don't want that to get too high. In order to lower the LDL cholesterol, you'd have to eat less of the full fatty dairy products. And like I said, I like my milk, I like my cheese, I like my butter. I do. And yes, I cook with that. But I modify how I do things and I try not to go overboard with anything. But if your cholesterol levels are really, really high, it helps to eat less of the red meat. I'm not saying that you don't have to have your steak and your this and your that, but if you eat less of the red meat, it will help to lower down your LDL cholesterol, which is much better for you. Next, try to get 7 or more hours of sleep per day. And I say per day because some people work night shift, some people work overnight or whatever. But when your head hits the bed, try to get 7 or more hours of sleep. If that means you got to go to bed a little bit earlier, then that may be it. Somebody might be saying, "Well, what about me? I can't help it. When I lay down, I just can't sleep for that long. I sleep for 3 hours and then I wake up. Then what am I supposed to do?" Okay, if you sleep for 3 hours and then you wake up, and you do whatever you need to do, and then you lay back down. Try to get some more hours in. Take a nap break after work. Do whatever you can to try to figure out how to get that 7 or more hours of sleep per night. And, the reason that I say that is not just so that your body gets that rest and you feel wonderful, because you want that rest and you want to feel wonderful, but did you know that there was a study done, and there people that have slept, there was a study done like 10, 20 years ago. And I'm sorry, I'm not remembering who did the study. I read it and kind of moved on to something else. But people who sleep less than 7 hours per night are at a greater risk of developing dementia in their older years. And this is a study that was done over a very long period of time, like about 10 or 20 years. And they found that most of the people in their control groups that had dementia, and when they were younger, they were not getting that 7 hours of sleep per night. So it's really important for you to increase your sleep. Some people have no problem getting sleep, you know, and that's good too. But for those who struggle with that, do what you can to increase your sleep. If not all at one time, then in sections. If you got to get 3.5 hours here, and you get up, move around a little bit, go back to bed, try to see if you can get another 3 hours or 2 hours. And if it's not adding up to 7 when it's time for you to get up and get out and be productive for your day, try to take a nap after your work or other activities. You may not thank me now, but 10 to 20 years from now, you'll be thanking me. It'll help you. And the next thing I want to talk about is pulse. And I'm not talking about the pulse that you take on your wrist. I'm talking about the pulse that you eat. Eat meaning seeds that are grown in the pods. Like, sugar snap peas are grown in the pod. Chickpeas or garbanzo beans it's considered pulse. Lentils, again, they're actually grown in a pod. I was watching a History Channel documentary yesterday about that, and it's very interesting how they are grown and cultivated and how helpful they are to your body. So lentils is the number one. Everybody should have that in their food prep somewhere. If you don't know how to cook with it or what to do with it, then you need to holler so I can do these videos on how to prepare that in a way that's going to be quick, easy, and delicious, because this is a quick and easy thing to prepare, and you can add all the other parts that are quick and easy together to make it really delicious. Back to pulse. Chickpeas, which is garbanzo beans, barley, whole grains. Those are considered pulse. And for people that read the Bible, you read in the book of Daniel, where he said that he was going to stop eating all the other stuff that everybody else was eating, and he just wanted to eat pulse. And he ate pulse for a very long time. That's what pulse is. And in the end of his, what we now call the Daniel fast, he was healthier and not lacking in any way, whereas the people that were eating all the other stuff were not as healthy. So, just something to check out. Book of Daniel, Old Testament, in the Bible. If you haven't read it, check it out. I think you'll see what I mean, and you'll get something good out of it. Some other key factors to having a healthier life. I use olive oil. Olive oil, coconut oil. You can use almond oil. These are things that if you need to do frying, like you want to fry your eggs or whatever, I use this because whenever you eat the food, this goes right through you, and it's much healthier for you. Especially, I do the extra virgin olive oil. I always read the label and check and make sure, polyunsaturated fats and all of that business. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil when you're frying is plenty. You don't need to soak the container like it's swimming in a bath. You really don't, because that doesn't really benefit you at all. I like to eat things like stuffed grape leaves. It's best if I make them from scratch, but it's always nice to keep a can or two in the cupboard. And the thing about it, it's like, yes, these are real grape leaves from the vine where grapes grow outside in the vineyard. People take the grape leaves and they wash them and they package them and store them in jars with the vinegar and a little bit of olive oil. You take them out. You can use it to stuff them with either meat or rice. Usually I use the rice and some lemon juice, and so it's a healthy snack. It's also something that can be used in addition to another part of a meal to make and I'll do a video on that, preparing a Mediterranean meal or or an Iranian meal using these. But there's no cholesterol, 0% cholesterol in this. My focus was when I was told that my health was like this, was trying to make my health like this. So I use these products to improve my own health and well-being. Another thing, I was talking about cutting out the fatty dairy products. I still like my milk, and I do use regular butter. I do enjoy having eggs, but instead of eating the yolks, I only use the egg whites. So if I have a carton of eggs, I'm separating it out. So if I want to fry eggs and make an omelet, I'm doing it with the egg whites. I'm not using the yolk. The cholesterol is in the yolk. It's not in the white. And yes, you can eat egg whites and have it taste good. Add your flavor to it. Add your onion, your seasonings to it. It will taste good. We'll do some videos on that. But like this is dry whole milk. I get it as a prepper sort of a thing because it's good to have in the cupboards because if there's a storm or power outage or whatever and your refrigerator's not working, then you're losing all your stuff in there. If is civil unrest like there was last year here where I live, you're not going to be able to find anything in the stores because people done burnt down the stores. They've destroyed everything, and then you're having to go outside of your normal boundaries trying to figure out where to go and what to find so that you can have things that you need to prepare your food. So I use this. I don't overdo it. I really don't. But I try to watch the label on there, 0% trans fats. And remember, trans fats is one of those things that you want less of. And even though this is a dry whole milk, it contains 28% milk fat, but it's a dry whole milk. So I do try to watch the saturated fats and the trans fats and all of that. And I use this in moderation as well. But believe me, it won't take me a year to go through this. Once you're opening these products, then you're kind of on a timeline for when they're going to wear down. But those are some of the things that I wanted to share with you today about ways that you can improve your health by how you eat, how you sleep, and getting some exercise. And I just wanted to end off by showing you, remember when I said in the beginning that 3 years ago my blood pressure was 240 over, I believe, 180? This is my blood pressure from this morning, 113 over 83. That is a huge difference. And you know what else? All the pills and stuff that the doctor was saying, oh, you're going to have to take all of this stuff because, you're in such bad shape. And yes, I did follow my doctor's instructions because that's very important. But I didn't only follow his instructions. I had to be proactive for myself because I care about myself and my own health. So I had to make those dietary changes. And when I made the dietary changes, he said that he could tell. When I went back in 3 months later or whatever it was, he said, there's something different. I didn't say anything right away. I was just trying to figure out, okay, let me keep moving more and exercising more because there has to be some things that I can do to increase my health since sitting around doing nothing did not increase my health. I can do little bits to make things better for myself. Went back another 3 months later. He said, what are you doing different? Turned the computer around. He said, you see these numbers? This is where you were when you came in before. What are you doing different? Oh, I'm preparing more of my own food. He said, but it was Thanksgiving recently. Didn't you have your turkey and the cranberry sauce and the this and the that and everything? And I said, yeah, but I made my cranberry sauce myself. I did this myself. I did that myself. I tried to lessen the amount of store-bought prepared stuff. Yes, you're going to need to get stuff from the store, but I changed how my food was prepared. And he said he could see it in those numbers from those follow-up tests. And just last week, I had some more follow-up tests to check on how my cholesterol and everything was doing, and plaque in the arteries, because 3 years ago when this all started and I was feeling like garbage, they said that I had a lot of plaque in my arteries. Went for the tests. They did all their tests and their scans of my arteries and my heart and my lungs and all that. When the test was over, they found 0 plaque in the arteries. They found it was 0, 0, 0, 0 all over the test results. And I said, "Could somebody explain this to me? Because I'm reading this, but I know how I came in 3 years ago, and I still have those copies of those test results." They had 2 doctors look at it. They said, "Well, we see the records and we know what was there before, but what was there before is not here now. So what you're doing is working, keep on doing it." So that's what I'm sharing with you. But as I said at the beginning, I'm not a medical doctor. This is not being given as medical advice. I'm just telling you about what worked for me, and I'd encourage you to talk to your doctor about what may work for you, especially if you're feeling extra sluggish, if you're um, if you're wanting to do something more innovative. Just ask your doctor. If I start walking 5 days a week for half an hour at a time, is that going to help me feel better? They'll probably say yes. They're not going to just say nope, because we have to keep our bodies moving one way or another. There's a little girl um, who was born with a congenital disease um, that I've been watching her videos through social media, and she was with her mother, uh, or her grandmother actually, and someone said in the live chat, um, "So what happens if you just decided you didn't want to exercise?" That little girl, that little 5-year-old girl said, "That's not really an option for me, because if I stop exercising, then my limbs and everything really stiffen up and it becomes much more difficult. So I do certain exercises on one day, other exercises on another day. You don't have to do the same thing every single time, but it is good to continue to keep your body moving." And this is a little girl who was not able to even bend her arm her arms or her legs when she was born. She's had multiple surgeries. Um, Her name's Princess Anna AMC, and you can find her here on YouTube. So I would suggest to you to find her, subscribe, follow her, and hear about her journey, because I think we could all learn something from someone else. And I hope that what I've shared with you is a help to you, and I hope that you'll take it to heart and do something good for yourself. And I look forward to talking to you again on the next video. Oh, wait, am I forgetting something? I'm forgetting something. One more thing before we're done. Sorry about that. Something I do every day, well, most days, I'll be honest. Um, since finding out that my arteries were hard and full of plaque and all of that stuff, and I've been trying to change myself and change my life, take a little shot, meaning about that much, not a shot that you give in the arm, but a little cup, uh, 2 tablespoons maybe, of apple cider vinegar with the mother. It tastes horrible. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'll take 2 tablespoons of that with 1 tablespoon of water, drink it down in the morning, and go on with my day. And for whatever reason, it's working and I'm feeling better. And my test results at my doctor show that it's been very helpful for me. So I hope you have a great day. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Do good for yourself by taking care of your body. Eating things that not only taste good, but that are helpful and nutritious for your body. And I will talk to you again soon.